Hi, my name is Simon from CramTheExam, and today I'm going to be taking you through an FCE reading question. This is part 5 on the use of English paper. This question you'll find on the brilliant website flojo.co.uk. If you haven't checked out flojo.co.uk, it's full of resources to get you ready for your English exam, whether it's the FCE, CAE, Matura Advanced, many other exams, plenty of great questions and other exercises on flojo.co.uk, so go along and have a look, and of course there'll be a link in the video description. So a few notes before we start. Part 5 is a multiple choice question. Choose the correct answer that you believe it to be, and you're looking for vocabulary links not just between the 4 answers that you're given, but also in the question text as well. So you're always finding that clear vocabulary link that connects the answer to the text. So let's have a look at question number 1 and find out what it is. Question number 1 says, when the first day of the job arrived, the writer was surprised. First thing we've got to do is have a look at the text to see where we can find this element of surprise. And we can see that vocabulary link here. I don't know if you've noticed this, but time has a habit of speeding along faster than a police car chasing a robber, and before I knew it. So it suggests that she wasn't ready for it, that that the surprise is that it happened so quickly. And indeed, before I knew it, she says, the day was dawning. So in other words, this was the day that she had to go and help out. So, and that of course is why the answer is A. If you see just over my shoulder, you'll see that it says well done. Did she forget to write down the date? I don't think she did. No, indeed, she says, I duly put the date in my diary, so it's not B. Did she witness a car chase? Nope. She uses this idea of a police car chasing a robber by way of explanation, not because she witnessed it, or saw it, but just because she was using it by way of analogy. And that was she surprised that she woke up at dawn? And there's nothing in the text that points to that. So for question number 2, it says, when the writer arrived to start her job, she. Now, what we've got here, let's move that just so we can see everything. When the writer arrived to start her job. So we've got that bit, let's connect to the question text. I arrived at the youth centre that morning. So this is the bit where she arrived at work. And then she says she feels full of trepidation. Trepidation is a wonderful word. It suggests nervousness, being worried, anxiety. She didn't know what to expect. But what's the answer? What does she do? Did she put the children into pairs? No, because each pair had been allocated a particular age group. So the children had already been put into pairs. Did she realise that she could have done more preparation? Well, we get the idea of that because it says, even with the planning meeting I had attended the week before, I was worried about whether I was up to the task. Why hadn't I read through the copious lesson plans we were given beforehand? Etc., etc. So here she's questioning her readiness, her ability to deal with the job. In other words, she could have done more, or she feels she could have done more preparation, which is why the answer is B. But let's just have a look at the other answers as well. Did she feel confident that she could deal with 10 and 11 years old? 10 and 11 years old. 10 and 11 year old. There we go. Finally managed to get it out. There's nothing in here that talks about confidence. Indeed, if we go back to the beginning, it talks about the complete opposite, being nervous, being scared, being worried, with this noun trepidation. Did she see that children had brought their own electronic games to play with? No, there's reference to electronic games when it talks about PlayStations, but nothing that the children had brought them with the children to school, so D is clearly wrong. For question number 3, it says, according to the writer, the parents were. Now, First of all, let's find out where the bit in the text is about parents, and it's right at the beginning of this paragraph. There's no other mention of parents explicitly in the text, so the answer must be somewhere around here. So according to the writer, the parents were they happy to stay with their children all day? Were they worried about children from other schools? Nervous that their children might not behave themselves? Glad to leave their children? If we have a look at this part here, the look of relief on parents' faces as they handed their offspring over to us was quite comical. So what this is really trying to say is the look of happiness that someone else will be looking after their children. So what if we think about that vocabulary, what does that link to? It links, of course, to D, that the parents were glad to leave their children. So here, if we look for, as I might have said at the beginning, if I didn't, I'll say now, we've got to look for vocabulary links both for the question text and also for the answer. And if we look for the question text vocabulary link first, then we narrow down the text where we have to look. And here, we only have to think about the first two sentences. For question number 4, the writer's best moment. Once again, let's look for that vocabulary that suggests the writer's best moment, and we can see that here. The particular highlight for me, so this is a clear vocabulary link, particular highlight, writer's best moment. Now, did it occur in the middle of the day? No, because it says here in the closing part of the day. Did it take her by surprise? There's nothing here that suggests explicitly or obviously surprise. You might get the idea that it might have been surprising, but we're looking for clear vocabulary links, and there's nothing in this paragraph that suggests surprise. Was it hard to put into words? Well, she definitely says it is difficult to explain those moments. So we've got a vocabulary link there. D, when the writer's best moment was when the day was over. Nothing here that suggests that she felt happy because the day was over. So there's no vocabulary link there, which means that the answer is C. So something that's hard to put into words is a link to difficult to explain. For question number 5, it says, according to the writer, adults think that being a child is a privilege. Sometimes adults sometimes forget that children have worries too, that adults are usually exhausted by bringing up their children. Adults don't have a stressful life. So let's find that link to according to the writer. And we find it here. I found it difficult to stop thinking, and and also this sentence leads into it as well, that there being moments of great poignancy. And this moment of great poignancy refers to this girl who talks about her mum being in hospital. And then the writer says, it's easy for us adults to idealize childhood and forget that some children have their own burden of anxieties and concerns. And it's this part here that links to our answer. This idea of anxieties and concerns. If you have anxieties and concerns, it means that you have worries. And this idea of it's easy for us to idealize childhood, and here we've got a clear vocabulary link, and forget. Well, that links clearly to B, where it talks about adults forgetting and children having worries. So here we've got clear vocabulary links between the text and the answer, and that's why the answer is B. For the last question, what is the writer's attitude by the end of the day? And here we're concentrating on the last paragraph. She says there was one disappointment for the children. That's important. Disappointment for the children that the play scheme was only running for a day, not the whole week. As I said farewell to my group, one of the children turned and said, "Can we do it again in the next holiday, miss?" My response, the writer's response, was, "Sure, why not?" So, could she imagine doing the job again next time? the vocabulary links seem to suggest that she can, because she says, the child says, can we do it again next holiday? So this is next time. And then the response was, sure, why not? So she could imagine doing it, which is why, of course, the answer is A. But let's have a look at B. Let's have a look through the rest of the answers as well. Was she sad to say goodbye to the children? There's nothing here that explicitly or obviously connects with being sad. You might think she's sad, because when you say farewell, this might communicate ideas of being sad, but we're looking for clear vocabulary links, so the answer is not B. Was she disappointed was the writer disappointed with the experience? No, there was only disappointment for the children. There's nothing in the text that talks about disappointment for the writer. And does she hope the play scheme will be longer in future? No, in the text it says that the children hoped that it would run for the whole week, not just one day. So once again, this is not the writer's attitude, this is the children's attitude. Okay. If you've got any questions at all, or if you want me to explain in any more detail, or indeed if you disagree with anything that I've said, please get in contact, leaving a comment below in the comments below this video. I'm more than happy to get into a conversation and a discussion with you. And indeed, if you've got any questions about any of the vocabulary in this exercise, please leave a note below and I'll get back to you. And remember, if you're studying for the FCE, CAE or Matura Advanced and you're studying from the Gold First or Gold Advanced or First Gold or Advanced Gold, First Expert, Advanced Expert, Ready for First, Ready for Advanced, and you want to practice the exam questions in those books, then please pop along to my website, CramTheExam.com, where for a very small amount of money, you will get access to videos to explain all the answers to the exam questions, much like this video, so you can study as quickly as you like and to do as many exercises as you would like. And on that website, I'll also give you feedback to your writing exercises. So if you want to practice your writing skills, then on Cram the Exam you can. Okay, I'll see you again soon.